this again.
Try this again. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this a new video that you're sharing?
Yeah.
All right. Tag myself in it.
If I could get my computer. All right. You see it?
Not yet.
Oh, well, Chuck sees it.
Chuck sees it.
Yeah, we got
All right, looks like we're up.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys. We can go ahead and jump right into this thing. Yo, so. How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Hardwork, Bad Decisions. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I'm your host. Well, one of your hosts is Gilbert Smith, and this is
Rachel Michelle Jones.
Rachel Michelle Jones. How you doing today, Rachel?
I'm doing good. How you feeling today?
I'm doing awesome.
Good.
We had a couple of technical difficulties, but
as usual, you would think he would have figured it out by now. We've been doing this all year?
Yeah,
kind of on and off.
I'm still learning. I'm horrible
learning.
at this.
Still trying to figure it out.
But I'm excited about tonight, man. We got some cool things to talk about.
So we have a lot to talk about.
Okay,
we got a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, first and foremost,
you guys want to see my necklace?
Here's the new bling bling. Every time you come around, bling bling. Yeah.
That's silver.
Hey, thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. For the Happy Veterans Day. Hey, actually, that's really big. To all the veterans out there, I want to thank y'all for your service. Even to the people that's still serving, that is currently serving, I want to thank y'all too. It's the freedom.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, man. I'm appreciative. So we're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about a couple of things before we get into the topic of tonight, which is you had your first tournament yesterday.
I did my first jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah, and first and foremost, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, for what? I didn't do anything. I just showed up.
You coached everybody.
I just screamed at you.
Me and everyone else on the team walk away with all of the success that we walked away with, which I want to give a shout out to everybody yesterday that competed. Me, obviously.
Yeah, well.
Caleb. I know you know more of the details of who took what. Do you want to run through
the
list real quick?
I'll run through it. Okay. Let's start out with Caleb. Caleb took home 3 medals. So Caleb Crump, congratulations. He had a gold medal, he had a silver medal, and he had a bronze. And the biggest thing, he took gold in absolute no-gi, and that means that absolute no-gi is really kind of like the number one as far as all of the no-gi divisions, and he took gold in that.
Congrats, Caleb. That's incredible.
Sean, he's a champ.
Yeah.
Meaning he had 2 gold medals.
Man, Sean destroyed. He dominated. It was his first time competing, and he entered both no-gi and gi, and took gold in both.
Yeah, exactly. He took gold in no-gi and gi. Then we had Michaela who took gold.
Yes, Michaela took gold.
Yeah.
That was her first time competing as well, and she went out there and she dominated both of her.
Did she have 2 finishes? Yeah, she finished both girls. I believe she finished one with the armbar, and she finished the other one with the Americana. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, Michaela.
Then my son, he competed, and that's a little bit of a story, considering the fact that he didn't train at all. He literally came off the football field, took a week of rest, came to the gym for about a week. He trained twice on a Monday and Wednesday, and then competed.
Competed and walked away with silver. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope.
And then you.
And then me.
You competed. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about that in a second.
And Peggy. Don't forget about Peggy.
Oh,
Peggy went out there.
You know the thing about Peggy? I love Peggy. Peggy is like the mom of the team. Oh. Okay. First and foremost, she actually signed up for the wrong division. She was supposed to do master level because she's over 30 years old. But she ended up doing
adult.
Yeah, adult, which basically she competed against 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds. And she did her best. She went out there and fought. She didn't get a medal.
She fought. She was fighting.
The
whole time she was fighting.
Yeah.
She never gave up. She never stopped.
I always say that if you don't wait to lose, it's to never step on the mat. Meaning that if you go out there and compete, no matter if you walk away with a first place, second place, or third place, you're a winner. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Peggy.
All right. To my man Omen, what's going on? All right. So let's talk about last night, the UFC fights first.
Okay, we can talk about the UFC fights first.
Yeah, UFC Denver, which
what I remember.
Which was the 25th anniversary to the UFC. See, most people don't realize that actually the UFC started in Denver, Colorado. They had their first card back in 1993, November 13th, I believe. Don't fact check me. But it happened in Denver. So last night they did an anniversary card, and it was one of the best cards of the year, man. It was great.
It was wild, man. The energy in that place.
It was crazy.
Like you guys don't even know when you're watching on TV. Even if you're just like in a sports bar, you got people around you yelling. If you ever come to Fox and the Hound, and you know he's yelling and getting wild, like that is nothing compared to when you're there
watching
and
it live
in that arena and all the energy and the fans, people screaming and getting into it and just being crazy. Man, it was
a lot of energy.
It was loud.
And the thing was, you wasn't feeling that well from the tournament.
I was a little beaten up.
yeah. But you survived. I guess we got to talk about the Korean Zombie and that knockout.
Oh my god!
Knockout of the century.
The last second knockout.
So,
that was amazing.
If I could demonstrate it to y'all, and I'm gonna try not to hit my girlfriend in the
wait.
back of the head.
What?
Right. So who was he fight? Yair Rodriguez was running away, kind of. And the Korean Zombie was chasing him, and Yair just turned around as he dipped down, came up with a back elbow. Never saw that before.
Yeah.
And knocked him out cold.
It was clean. It was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And he just got him at the last second, too. The last second. That was wild. The energy in that place. That was wild. He has his grape drink there that he's sipping on.
Yeah. And then Donald Cerrone. Now, see, Donald Cerrone, he fought Mike Perry. And there was, I forgot about that. Good job, Kobe. Not only that, Yair knocked out the Korean Zombie with the craziest back elbow. It was 1 second left in the fight, and he was losing the fight.
Yeah.
So the only thing that the Korean Zombie had to do was survive 1 second.
One more second.
So, man, to get knocked out like that, it's horrible. I know we missed it.
Oh, we missed it. I thought it was 6 to 12.
No, well, see, the only thing that's illegal is 12 to 6 this way. So he came more of an angle. Even if it was 12 to 6, that's still good. It's the same way like Anderson Silva knocked out the one dude back in England when he came with an up elbow. But it was more of a spinning back elbow with an arch. So I won't say it was 6 to 12. He said, I think I watched that video 1,000 times. Yeah, you know what? I want to practice it. We're going to train it. We're probably never going to land it, never going to do it, but it's something cool to do. So, Joshua, get ready. Donald Cerrone. So, Donald Cerrone was fighting Mike Perry. That had a little bit of a beef. I'm not going to go too deep into that. But to see Donald Cerrone come into the Denver arena and the applause that he got, man, people love him there.
Oh, they love him. Everyone was standing up.
Yeah,
Those people were standing up.
He's from Denver, so of course he's gonna have all his family, friends. His grandma was here, and his newborn baby, who he named Danger.
His name is Danger?
Yeah, the baby name is Danger.
That's cute.
Yeah.
He was so cute. He's all dressed up in his little boots.
Yeah.
And his little UFC belt. That was adorable.
So and for him to get that armbar, so now Donald Cerrone holds a record for the most wins in the UFC and the most finishes. Pretty crazy. Just shows.
How long was the Zombie at Elevation? Does anyone know?
Was that Elevation? Oh, training here? And I don't know. I would assume that he did some Elevation training because it happened in the 5th round, and the Korean Zombie seemed like he had good energy.
Yeah.
So
that really that it was just that shot. It was just so perfectly timed. It came out of nowhere. It just like it's not like he was coming at him too.
Yeah. I think the power of the way the Korean Zombie was running forward.
Yeah.
And the way that Yair through the elbow, it was just like two trains colliding, and unfortunately the Korean Zombie got the worst of that. So
that was wild.
All right, so moving on, Donald Cerrone got the armbar. So happy for him. And then we had Luis Pena, who I thought got robbed. Now, you guys, just listen. Tell me, do you think Luis Pena won or lost that fight against the Lone Wolf, who was the winner of the Ultimate Fighter undefeated season?
It seemed like he was dominating him for most of it. I thought.
I had it that he won rounds 1 and 2. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought that was clear. 1 and 2.
Carlos, what happened to you last night?
3 minutes. Yeah, where did Carlos go?
He logged in. He's watching like
when it came time for us to leave, I look over and Carlos is gone.
Yeah, he just disappeared. Like we was all sitting together, and then like I looked over and he was gone.
He had something to do.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know when he left. I don't know what he saw. But he left.
All right. I see how it is, homie.
Bailed on us.
And so, and let's move on to the next thing. You learned something new.
I learned something new.
What did you learn?
What are we talking about?
The kinesia tape. The certification course you went through.
Oh. Yeah. Is that what we're talking about now?
Mhm. Yeah, man. We're moving right on.
We're talking about the kinesia tape?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm in the process of being certified for a kinesio tape.
Yeah.
And I took the first couple courses, and I've just been playing with it. I've been practicing a lot of people and getting phenomenal results with helping relieve pain while injuries are healing, or there's tons of uses for it, and I'm in the process of incorporating it into my practice.
Yeah, I love the fact that as you are growing with your business and being a massage therapist, you add in more tools that you can help people heal up and get better at.
I am, especially when my boyfriend is an MMA fighter and messes his body up all the time, and
that's all we do is hurt each other.
We've got a gym full of people who, just spend their free time hurting each other. It's nice to have another tool to help their bodies recover. So
guys, if you've never been taped up, going through a massage and then finish out with the tape, it really helps. I feel like the benefits of the massage last longer.
Yeah, it does help. It definitely helps to prolong the benefits of the massage by being taped in certain areas.
And it was funny because my son, who competed yesterday, his leg was all taped up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it added him, especially with his knee, to give him some more structural support for his knee. Yeah. So it helped out, and the stuff he did for him really helped. I mean, he won a silver medal from it. So
yeah, from the tape, huh? How's your grape drink? How is that?
Well, I mean, it's really good. It tastes better.
How's that purple drink?
It tastes better coming from this glass.
Yeah, it's like the glass for a king.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna move on, and let's talk about the topic that we want to talk about.
Let's talk about the topic: white belts and black belts. Some perspective.
Yeah. So it's funny.
Let me give a little bit of a history on where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then maybe you give a little bit of yours, and we can kind of talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I got introduced to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the beginning of this year. And I didn't even know what it was, really. Mainly got into it because I was seeing him, and he was starting a new gi class, so I thought I would take it. And it really took a while for me to get into it, understand the concept, and to fully embrace it. I had a hard time in the beginning because I'd never done it before. It was so foreign and unfamiliar to me that there was a lot of resistance in the beginning. And, I tried it for a little bit in the beginning of the year. I took some time off over the summer, and I really got back into it in like August is when I got focused and really jumped into the classes and started being more consistent. And it's just so much has happened since then. As far as like developing and growing, I never thought I would compete. And yesterday I had my first tournament. That was huge for me. Huge milestone.
I think you glossed over a couple key notes there.
Of course you do. What do you think I glossed over?
Because when you started out with the class, and obviously you started training BJJ because you was dating me, you had no idea what that was.
No, I could barely pronounce
Jiu-Jitsu. You had no idea, even like just like being combative or self-defense or grappling or wrestling.
Like physical contact sports, never done it before.
So starting out in the class.
Thank you, Joshua. I had some exciting matches.
Yeah.
It was exciting for me. Yeah. Hi, Missy.
So, now watching your growth has been so awesome. You have taught me a lot as being a professor because of the fact that I've never dealt with someone who has zero knowledge of BJJ. This I just show up to class and be like, what's that? And just start doing it.
Why are we doing this? Okay, so you want me to throw them to the ground? Okay, but why?
Yeah.
So do I punch them now or?
Yeah. And
so can I kick her in the face when she's on the ground? How does this work?
Yeah, pull her hair.
What is side mount? Yeah. Why do I want to be here?
Yeah. See, most of the time the people that come to our school know a little bit about it. Maybe they see it on TV and they want to give it a shot. But you came in not knowing the difference between jiu-jitsu or karate. Like you didn't know the difference. You didn't want to karate chop someone or take them down the arm bar.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I had no knowledge of it. Maybe I should have did some research, but I kind of had the attitude like, yeah, I'll just try it out. I'll see. Like I've played sports before in the past. I like fitness. I like to be physical. I'll just see what it is, see how it goes, and give it a chance.
And because of that, I had to regress the way I was teaching, because I would mostly teach people that have a little bit of an understanding, and I had to explain more. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't ready, and it's gonna sound bad, but so please don't be offended. I wasn't ready for your level of ignorance.
Nope, I wasn't either.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't understand, the words that coming out my mouth. I felt like I felt like I was Chris Tucker and you was Jackie Chan, or the other way around. So now fast forward, almost October or November, 11 months of training, and then you step on the mat for your first competition.
Yep.
All the training we done, all the classes, sometimes we did privates. Tell me, how did you feel going into the tournament?
Oh, I was excited. Honestly, I was excited. I don't think I got nervous until the day of, when I was actually there getting ready to go fight. I was when I really started getting nervous, but before that, it was just excitement. I knew it was a new experience, and I was just going to take it for what it was, and a learning experience. I didn't really know what to expect. I guess going in, I thought I would see the holes in my game and be able to work on them and perfect that. That's what I was wanting to take away from it. That was my intention in going into the tournament, and it really was just for the experience. Mainly just excited.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen some of the other guys compete, so at that point, it wasn't exactly foreign to you as far as what to expect visually.
Yeah, like as a spectator, it's very different when you just go and you see what's going on. That's easy to just show up and watch.
Yeah. And we did spend a lot of time training in class and preparing, going over the rules and the techniques.
Right.
But to step into a tournament, your first tournament, as a white belt, because you did get one stripe, as a one stripe white belt. Let's go over some of the things you took away from the tournament.
Okay. So I think the first thing that I would say I took away from the experience was my level of preparation. It's really hard to prepare for something that you've never been through. So the way that I was looking at it was like, I'm just going to go in there, do my best, and just see what happens, and maybe I'll know what to do more for next time. So I was very relaxed with it. But I learned a lot as far as things I needed to prepare. And I think the biggest thing was my level of conditioning, because I won the first 2 matches, and I felt good. But going into the third match, that's really when I was just tired. I was just...
Cardio makes cowards of us all.
I was done. I was like, I don't have any energy anymore. Like, I put so much into those first 2 matches that by the third one, and they're 6-minute matches,
yes,
right?
6-minute matches for you.
Matches. So I was tired, and I felt it. I felt like I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. And it wasn't like I didn't know what to do. I never felt like I got stuck and I didn't know where to go from here. It was just like, I can't get up. I can't move my body. So that was something that I know that I would prepare for more. And that's just general conditioning.
Yeah.
Because I went into this having 2 classes of jiu-jitsu a week.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more when I could find the time. Maybe I did like the 5 p.m. class but I really didn't have any strength training or just overall conditioning that I was doing, and that would have helped.
Okay, so let's break this down.
I think.
So this is how you prepared, okay? Because I think we decided to do this tournament maybe in September.
Next September,
okay, in September. And since then, you was consistently doing 2 days a week. Okay, literally 2 days a week. She was training 2 days a week, and mainly because of your job and your work.
Right, because working as a massage therapist, I use my body a lot for work.
Yeah.
And there was one week where I was like, you know what, I'm going to train a lot more this week, and I'm going to do a lot more rolling, and it just made me tired for work.
Yeah, so when you go into doing a massage, it's like you use your body, and you already fatigued from training. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that because your job is so physical. Yeah. So you train twice a week, and we didn't do a lot of strength and conditioning. We didn't do a lot of cardio, running, strength training, circuit training. We did it sporadically every so often, but it wasn't on a consistent basis.
No, that I definitely could have improved my overall training, and that's something that the next time that I compete, I will intentionally make sure that I'm full body training, doing some strength training, doing cardio. Those things, they matter just for endurance.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought my biggest thing is I might get to a point where I didn't know what to do, and that was never the case. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't about technique as much as it was about I can't move my body because I'm tired.
That's the worst.
I want to tap out because
That's
I'm
the
tired.
worst feeling. That is the worst feeling is when you know you have more to give in your mind, but your body is just not moving. Like your mind and body is not connecting.
Yeah, I gave out in that third round. I put everything on the table. I gave everything I could in that third round. I ended up losing. It was 4-0.
Yeah.
And because she got mount on me. But after that, I was done. I was done. I know Gladys. She got
her name was Gladys. A really cool chick, but yeah.
But yeah, I was done after that.
She made you work.
I was glad that it was over because that's how tired I was. And then, come to find out, I had to fight again just to secure my spot for silver, which I did not know.
Yeah, so if you ever wrestled and competed, and this is a hard concept to talk about, but what happens is sometimes with the bracket, they need a true second place, meaning if the first place winner beat what could have been the second place and the third place winner, and they never competed, then who's to say who's really second or third? Like you lost one, I lost one.
Right.
Okay, so now we're gonna go again one more time to prove who should take the second place and who should take the third place.
Right.
So I love that. So there's nobody being cheated because why am I getting third place when I lost only once? Okay, and you get in second place and you also lost only once. That's not fair. We both lost only once, and some of the times to the same person. So so we
it
both,
definitely makes sense. I get that. I just wish I had known that because I already had my gi off and I was chilling and I was glad to be done. And they called my name and told me I gotta go fight again. And I'm like, no, I don't want to fight again.
And that last match, which was her fourth match, you really pushed it and you came out with the win. So that's how you got second place.
Yeah.
You earned it. It wasn't given to you. You earned it.
I earned it in the last time. I did not want to be there. That's part of the reason I was fighting somebody. I was mad that I had to fight.
So you fought.
So I fought.
Yeah. So all right. So preparation. You need to be a little better on your strength and conditioning.
Another thing I'd say that I learned, a big thing, was the amount of chance that's involved in these competitions. The amount of things that are completely out of our control, that are random. I became a lot more aware of it because there's just so many factors. Like in the white belt division, like you said, I'm a 1-stripe white belt, but a 1-stripe white belt could be going against a 2-stripe or a 3-stripe or a 4-stripe. And even the stripes, what that means, academies do it differently when they promote people. Some people get promoted faster than other people. So technically, really, your level of skill set, you can't really narrow it down, but they do the best that they can.
Yeah.
So I understand the system. They do the best they can. In addition to that, the weight class that I'm in, it was 150 plus.
Yeah.
So that's just all women 150 and above. We just go together. So
you
someone could be like 50 pounds
against
more
someone,
than you.
Yeah, someone that's 200.
But that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it could be 160 versus 200. So and you're right about being random as far as a white belt. I think a white belt in the blue belt division is probably the most random divisions because I could be a white belt in jiu-jitsu, but I could have been wrestling for like 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
You know, or I could have done judo. You know, or better yet, I could have been grappling no gi, never put a gi on.
Yeah.
So I'm just starting in gi, and then now I'm starting from a white belt. But I'm already been grappling. I could be an MMA fighter just starting out with the gi, but I've been doing grappling moves for like, you know, a whole bunch of years. And you literally is just starting.
Literally just starting, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's so hard to really make it fair and square. Like you just can't. But like I said, they do the best they can. It all depends on who shows up. That's another thing. Like I had to fight 4 times to get my silver.
Yeah.
And other people, depending on how their bracket was, sometimes you only had 3 people in your bracket. So if your division only has 3 people, you're guaranteed a medal.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you get a bye. That's just the way it works. So, you have an odd number of people, or your person doesn't show up, you get a bye, and you fight less matches.
Yeah. So in your division, you had 7 girls. typically, the brackets break down 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, right? Excuse me. But y'all had 7, so one of the girls, who was the girl that actually took gold, she caught the bye. So meaning that the other 6 girls had to compete, and because she didn't have someone to compete against, she automatically moved on to the next to the semifinals. So now you had to compete one time, and now you have to compete against her as you already tied and she's super fresh.
Right.
And that comes down to just pure randomness, pure
That's
numbers.
just a part of it.
Yeah, there's no control over it.
And on the other side of it too, you have these girls that also compete in no-gi, and no-gi goes before gi. So in the no-gi class, there were a couple girls that competed in gi and no-gi. And these girls, they already fought like 2-3 times, and then they're coming over to gi and fighting. And
see, I'm classy.
I don't think any of those girls placed. They got a medal in gi, but they also like just competed. That's why I give so many props to Caleb Crump for competing in so many divisions.
Back to back.
To see what that's like. He's so far from fresh when he's at the last couple of divisions that he's competing in.
Yeah.
He's already worn out. He's already been through it, and he's still out there competing and still medaling. Like it's impressive to see what he does.
At a black belt level, it's rare to see someone do so many divisions. Most black belts, or even brown belts, they would do really absolute division because that's the most prestigious division. They want to win across the open division. Doesn't matter if it's basically they want to walk away and say, I beat everyone from the small guy to the big guy. Maybe they do their weight class in absolute. Okay, but that's about it. You know, because as the skill level gets tougher, to do 4 divisions at the highest skill level, it's tough. I mean, now you're putting yourself in a predicament where injuries could happen more.
Yeah.
You know, or
exactly.
Or by the time you get to the most, like the highest level, the absolute division, you're already broken down.
Yeah. No, when it really matters to get that win, and when it really matters to get, especially the competitions that pay you to win, like
Caleb Crump said, thanks for the shout out.
Of course. Yeah, we look up to you, Caleb.
Yeah.
And I never really understood how hard it was to do what you do until I was there and I did my one division and I was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do another one. I'm taking home 4 medals from 4 different divisions. Say that's not gonna happen. I was ready for a nap. But yeah, just the chance of it, the randomness, it's different every time. You don't know who's gonna show up. So I think I was just a lot more aware of what does it really mean to even get a medal or to win. That's where you really got to take your ego out of it. It doesn't mean you're the best. It doesn't mean you're the greatest. You're not the best in Colorado. You're not. It's not what it means. That the tournament is really about yourself and you working on your skills and developing your game. And so you just the medals.
So when it comes to, let's say, white belt and blue belt, that's what it's all about. It's about learning and growing. People ask me all the time, "Hey, coach, should I go and compete? You know, if they're a white belt or whatever." I was like, "Yes." All you're doing is just finding out things that you need to get better at. It's not about you winning and you walking away like you some national champion. Because I hate to say it like this, as a white belt, as a blue belt, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I say like even just the words like I'm the best white belt, like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
in jiu-jitsu.
It's good to have medals.
You can't be great in jiu-jitsu and be a white belt. It doesn't work that way.
Even if you won gold, there'll still be 1,000 things you have to go back and change to get better at.
You know? And there are tons of people who just didn't show up that day. Who just weren't there.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
If Gladys hadn't showed up, that gold would have been mine. Okay?
Gladys, if you watch, it'll be coming after you.
That's the only reason I lost. Yeah. Gladys was there.
Well, speaking about Gladys, let's go on to the next thing you learned.
Let's talk about it. Camaraderie is one of the biggest things that I took away from it. You always see fighters on TV or people when they compete and they like shake hands and everything right after they were just trying to kill each other. And I've always thought, like, is that real? Like, how do you do that? How do you go from trying to choke someone out to shaking their hand and hugging them as intensely as they do? And it's real. I got to experience it with, especially Gladys. Yeah. It seemed like the more challenging matches I had were the kinder, more genuine girls that gave me a hug and really shook my hand and told me that I did well. And I think that's become, from my perspective, I feel like that's because when you go against someone who's really tough, they push you to reach and dig within yourself to a part of you that you didn't even know you had, and find this strength, this deep down strength, and really pull out your best. And it's like you have to go against somebody tough to be put in that situation. And it's like you're grateful to that person for getting you in touch with that side of you.
I would say the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu and maybe other martial arts, I think every martial arts have this, is just the respect that people have for each other that's willing to go out there and compete. I can honestly say I've never had a bad situation or when it came across somebody with a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Some are weirder than others, for sure. Jiu-jitsu got some weird people, but most of the time you get on the mat and y'all grind, and whoever wins, you get up and shake their hand. Even if you feel like you got cheated, maybe the ref made a bad call, you'll still show your opponent respect, and you call it a day, you know. But a lot of times those friendships could forge to like long-term friendship, or maybe future training partners.
Yeah, exactly. Gladys and I were talking about working together at the seminar. The next seminar that you do up at Hibernation.
Hibernation. Well, Hayward, get out there, man. We gotta do a seminar.
Yeah, for the next seminar. She said she'll be there. I'll be there, and it's gonna be dope to work with her again. You know, I just made a new friend in the jiu-jitsu community.
Y'all can definitely push each other.
Yeah.
But then when y'all compete again, it's no longer friends.
just while we're competing,
it's
crazy.
for
As
6 minutes.
As soon as the bell goes off,
It's like
we're right back to it.
Let's say let's say you and one of the girls at the gym, let's say Bree or Michaela, if y'all had to compete against each other, let's say y'all was in the absolute division, open division, no weight class, and both y'all won. Y'all was winning. Y'all came up to the first place. Could you compete against her?
Could I compete against Bree or Michaela?
Yeah. Your training partners, your home.
Oh, absolutely! I would have to. And you know what? It's not just because. It's not like, of course, I love these girls and I don't want to hurt them. Yeah. But it's like they need me to compete against them. Yeah. You know, they need me to show up and they need me to turn on. I agree. Like if in that last match, if I had, because I was tired and I didn't want to go into the fourth one, if I had been like, no, I'm done, I don't really want to do this anymore, I forfeit, and that chick had won second place, she wouldn't have felt as good about it. She would have took it. She would have been happy to get it, but she would have been like, you know, I didn't earn this. I'm here to compete. I'm here to test my skills. Like, I would say this: if I'm gonna lose, I want to lose to my best friend. You know, my homie. You know, like instead of losing to some random person. Yeah, that's true. So if me and Caleb, you know, and we could have been in the same tournament. If I would have competed yesterday, me and him would have went against each other in the no-gi division. You know, because no-gi, he did no-gi advance. I didn't no-gi advance, especially in the open weight class. Yeah. And we did compete against each other. And I'd have been like, Caleb, you know, I love you, but Daddy gonna have to show you how it's done. You know what I'm saying? But you get smashed. Yeah. But that was a big thing. The camaraderie, it is real. The love is real. The respect is real. And I'm so glad that I got to experience that. And not only in my my competitors, but also in my team. Walking off the mat after you lose into the arms of your team and everyone congratulating you, hugging you, telling you good job, that is such a wonderful feeling. Yeah. So for those of you who, anytime you have a chance to go to one of these events, just to cheer on your people and support them, not just for them to win, but for when they lose too. Yeah. To just be there for them and be like, hey, you still did great, and just be supportive. Like, because, that really matters walking off the mat. Because Dylan King and Derek Jackson, even David Payne showed up to help, you know, support, coach and, you know, console you if things didn't go the way you wanted to go. So grateful that they were there. Praise you if it didn't went well. Zarek was giving me tips on the side about, because we're watching matches and I'm seeing stuff that's going on. I'm like, how do I get out of that? How do I make that happen? And he's over here giving me tips, and I really appreciate that. Just kind of being there for us, even though you guys aren't competing. It wasn't about you. It was really about just being a part of the team, and it helped the whole time. I love the fact that Dylan and Derek was there to help coach, because it became times that my neck was getting tired of screaming, and they were screaming for me. They were calling out stuff, and it was good for them to see it from the other side, because you get better
when you're coaching someone, you start seeing mistakes. Like, okay, sometimes I make that mistake, and you
Yeah.
can make corrections in your own game.
Yep.
Just by seeing other people do it. So, thank you, Dylan and Zarek, for being there, and for showing up when we didn't have to.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So
Appreciate it. So,
so
the another thing that I want to talk about as far as a big thing that I took away was really experiencing that 100% intensity.
ooh, going
Turn it
all
on,
out.
going all out.
Yeah.
Not something that I don't think I've ever done before in any kind of competitive way. Because fighting is just different. I played sports, I played basketball, but that 100% intensity of like when you're really giving it your all, you never get to experience that when you train.
Well,
No matter how hard you train or spar, you're just I've never felt that. I've never been in that situation where
what you say.
I was having to tap into a completely different place.
Well, the thing is, you say you could play basketball, but you can't play fighting. And that's whereas when it comes to combat sports, when you're physical with someone else, you there's so many attributes you have to rely on, and then mostly it's just the gifts that God gave you. You know, there's no basketball, there's no football, there's no tools, there's no teammate you could tap in and pass it to, or whatever the case may be. It's just you and another person, and that in itself breeds that intensity, that competitiveness. Like, I don't want this other human being to physically dominate me.
Mm-hmm.
So your body turns on, and then you go all out. And
Yeah.
most people, like training wise, because we don't want to hurt each other. Even when we go in and we spar, we go maybe 50, 60, 70. If you're one of those guys that could turn up maybe 80%. But nobody goes 100%, 100% of the time. If it did, the gym would be full of injured people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when you go into these tournaments and you do go 100%, it's a shock to the body.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. My body is shocked.
Yeah.
I'm a little messed up from it.
I mean, it's like, besides your muscles being strained, you get tired way quicker, and you be like, what is going on? I could grapple for an hour in the gym, but yet I just did this 6 minutes, and it feels like my heart is about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because your body just never hit that level.
Yeah, it's definitely that level of intensity. There's nothing like it. And I think for that reason alone, everyone should compete at some level if you're in jiu-jitsu. And not for like a medals or not for, but just that life experience, really, of being in.
That's what Peggy did.
Exactly. That's why I give her so much props for doing it, getting out there and doing it. She knows what that feels like.
Yeah, Peggy showed up.
She was fighting too.
Yeah, and like, I mean, listen, I'm not a violent person. People may find out to be a little bit counterintuitive, considering that I'm a former MMA fighter. But I will say, I think you learn a lot about yourself when you get into a fight. Okay, and I'm not saying to go out there and go to the club and get into a fight, but when you get into a competitive fight, meaning that you are competitively fighting someone that's trained, not two drunken idiots acting crazy, acting dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, two people that put in the work, that learn some stuff, that train some stuff, and now they're gonna figure out who's the better person on that day. It doesn't mean who's the better person overall, because maybe one day you beat me, maybe one day I beat you, but on that day, who showed up? And I think you learn so much about yourself, even if you win or lose. There's some good and bad on both sides of the coin.
Definitely.
But I think to push yourself to that level of intensity, I think everybody should try it.
That was probably the most powerful experience there, was just feeling that 100% and going all out like that. Especially in that fourth match when I did not think I had anything left and I was done. And I didn't want to do it. I still was able to.
I was so proud of you.
For another 6 minutes, I think.
Now, listen. Going through that tournament yesterday, I was super nervous for my son, because he really didn't train for it.
Yeah.
And but he's my son, and like I just want to see him do good.
Yeah.
I was super nervous for you, because you're my girlfriend, and the fact is that when things go bad, I gotta go home with you. If you was a regular student, and like, don't get me wrong, I love all y'all, Michaela, Peggy, Kayla, Sean, I love all y'all. But like, if things don't go the way we want, we can sit down and talk, we have a conversation. But you get to go home, I go home, and we get a break from each other. But if you was to lose bad and you disappointed, I gotta go home and spend the weekend, but to spend the next.
You gotta hear about it.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night, for the rest of the week,
yeah.
the rest of the month.
So I was super nervous, and then, being that you my girlfriend, I feel like in some ways, and it's not true, but it's just the pressure we put on ourselves, even as a coach. I feel like you reflect me directly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like, oh, that's Gilbert's girlfriend. So
yeah.
So I was super nervous, and also the fact of how new you was to grappling, I didn't want you to lose and then get discouraged and be like, you know what, this grappling stuff is, I don't like it. I'm not good at it. I want to quit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. And you know what? I'm definitely not discouraged. In fact, that'll bring me to my last takeaway.
Yeah.
And that is the stuff that I want to work on, which is really the main thing and the only thing that I thought I would take away from this is that my skill development, the areas of my game that I need to work on, how I need to improve, what my weaknesses are, like that was my intent. And of course, that was a big part of what I take away from this. And there were many things. Like I've got a list of stuff that I need to work on. The biggest one being my cardio, my endurance, my all-around strength. But tons of things in my technique. I mean, I'm a white belt. I have a lot to work on, of course. But it really did make it glaring what I had to work on.
I could have swore that you wrestled some. I mean, I feel like you've been lying to me. I feel like you've been fibbing this whole time. You was shooting those double legs. You was driving. You tried to switch to a single. Like, you did so many good things with your wrestling. I was impressed.
Thank you.
And I mean, coming from a wrestler, a little tear dropped from my eye when you shot in for that double leg and you actually got it. I was like, a little tear drop. Like, I swear.
I actually used to wrestle bears.
Yeah, wrestle bears.
Yeah, back in Russia. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I did.
I grew up wrestling
bears.
Yeah,
I heard Khabib told me.
Yeah, with Khabib. You know him.
Yeah, I know Khabib, yeah.
That same bear he wrestled.
Yeah, the same bear?
I got him tired first.
Yeah,
the bear. I wrestled him first and then Khabib wrestled him.
I thought that bear looked a little tired.
That's why he was able to dominate that bear. Because I warmed him up for him.
Wow. So, I didn't know you wrestled bears. So
I do want to keep working on my wrestling.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other technique that I want to work on too. And this experience made it very clear which things that I need to work on. So
wrestling was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one?
Passing guard.
Passing guard. I tell you one thing.
Finishing. That was the other one. A really big one is finishing.
Yeah. Oh, submission.
Yes, submissions. Because I went all 6 minutes in most of the rounds. The first round, I got the submission, but I got it at like 4 minutes.
Yeah, cross-collar choke.
After, I got a cross-collar choke after trying a submission. Was it the clock? No, that was triangle. An arm triangle?
Yeah, it was an arm triangle.
And I couldn't finish it, so I gave up on it and I went to something else. But I don't really want to have to keep fighting for 6 minutes. Like, I need to learn how to finish these chicks a little bit quicker so I don't have to exert so much energy. Yeah,
it's always nice to get a quick finish and watch everybody else go the whole round and be super tired.
I don't want to anymore. I want to get
finish
done.
the fight, man. Don't leave in the hands of the judges.
The second match, I won 0 to 23. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So I got all these points.
You scored 23 points, and you like, if you could dominate this much, you should be able to finish it.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I shouldn't be just racking up the points. Like, if I can get that many positions on it, I got to be able to finish it from one of those positions. So that's a big one too.
So now you told me your 5 takeaways from the tournament, coming from a white belt competitor student perspective. I'm gonna touch on those same topics real quick, coming from the black belt former fighter professor. The first one you said is preparation, and as a coach, I got some things in my head that I do want to start working on with the students to help them prepare for the tournaments going forward. Like, we need to be grappling more 5-minute rounds. I know sometimes we do 3-minute rounds just because you can switch up and grab somebody new. But we need longer rounds so we can spend more time figuring out our game, setting things up, controlling and moving.
Right.
And before you have to switch and grab somebody new and then start all over.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to go over some techniques that or better yet, add a little bit more strength and conditioning, a little bit more drills that's going to get you fatigue. That's going to help. What did Joshua say?
Dude, for real, the transition, you was superb.
Yeah. You did good. All right.
Thanks, Joshua.
So the next one you mentioned was about chance and how tournaments are random. And I don't know if I don't know if there's anything I could do about that as far as being a coach.
No,
Um,
that's just the way it is. And I think for me, it was just that that knowledge, that awareness of this is how the tournaments are. This is just how they're set up. And in the back of your mind, you have to just remember that just how random it is.
yeah, yeah, and
You
maybe
have
that
to.
means something I could talk about, to the students, especially if somebody's gonna do the next tournament and it's gonna be their first tournament. I have to express to them that they got to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
You got ready for different sizes because sometimes you could be in the same weight class and you get a super tall, skinny, lanky, flexible guy,
Yeah.
or you get a really stocky, small guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you got to be ready for the randomness when it comes to these tournaments.
Hi,
Camaraderie.
Doris. Say hi, guys.
Yeah,
Hi.
I love camaraderie, and I think that's something our gym does very well.
Mm-hmm.
We're very respectful with our competitors, and I don't think I have to touch upon that, but I do like the fact that our teammates came out and coached more. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to really convey that to the students, especially the guys that's gonna start moving up in the belts.
Yeah.
If you want to go and get that purple belt, that brown belt, if you foresee yourself one day being a coach yourself or being an instructor or even a professor, a black belt, then maybe you should start working on your coaching skills and your teaching skills because like I said, when you coach and teach, you tend to learn things too. So you're
Yep.
helping yourself out as you're helping your teammate,
Yep.
even if you can't compete for whatever reason. The level of intensity. How can I thought about this, and that's almost something that it's really hard to replicate in a gym.
You can't replicate it in the gym. You
Mhm.
can't. That's why you have to compete to feel that, to experience it. You have to just get out there and fight.
Well,
And
maybe.
maybe if you start fighting people,
No,
as soon as
no,
they walk in the door, just start attacking people.
no. Maybe if you we go to other gyms. Sometimes when you go to another gym and you do some cross training with other gyms,
Yeah.
you step through the door and you're not gonna be able to turn up 100%. So you're not gonna increase in intensity. What you can do is feel that sense of nervousness. You can feel that nervous energy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would do it though. Still, because you can't go 100%. The only time you can go 100% is when you're going 100%.
Yeah.
Put yourself in a situation, you go 98%, you're going 98%.
Okay.
So the only way you can go 100% is when you are going against that other person and you're telling yourself like, I'm gonna do everything I can to win this. This isn't about me being polite at another gym. This is about like, this is it. This, because I know that that's what the other person's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know it.
Yeah. So, how would you say to help coach others without being that guy?
Coach others without being that guy.
I'm assuming I'm assuming you talking about being the guy that's like always coaching, like you still learning yourself, but you know, I think as you are trying to help, there's a time and place. And I believe, especially like in a tournament format, when I had a couple of people competing at the same time and I going to be at one place, then you could step up and you could just ask, "Hey, coach, do you mind if I go and coach that person?" Or maybe I turn to you. I think it's one of those situations that if you have that camaraderie with that person, then helping out and coaching, I don't think will make you that guy.
Yeah.
It only sucks is when you in the gym and you are training, and let's say you and I are grappling, right? And every time we kind of flowing, you stop to tell me something. And I'm like, okay, thank you. That was a good tip. And then we start going again. You stop me again. Okay.
Especially if it's someone that is like around your experience level.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's like right now, what they need is the physical practice of trying to work through things.
Yeah.
Rather than if you're with somebody and they're super new and you can tell they're lost or they're confused, then give them a pointer or what I especially like is after I roll, because we have some of the guys in the gym that do this with me. After I roll with them, they take a second to point out what I could have done or what I should do next time. So it doesn't interrupt our flow. It doesn't interrupt the roll. But when it's like the higher belts, like the purple belts or something that I roll with, if they point something out during the roll, it's because I need it, because I'm like making a really big, obvious error, and it's welcome. So I think it has to do with
Yeah, because you don't want to be that guy that's like always coaching and always saying something like if I'm taking a test and let's say the role is a test. If I'm taking a test, you can't give me the answer to every question. You have to give me a chance to figure it out.
Right.
You know, if I'm making a big glaring mistake, and you have the answer, maybe after the role you can give me some tips and help me get better at that. But I do like the fact when people do step up at the right place at the right time,
Right.
and they're willing to share their knowledge, especially when you are more advanced than the other person.
Yeah.
Uh, and the last one, skill development. I think uh, as we work through the curriculum in the class, and we like, so I give a perfect example. The month of October, we worked on nothing but Kumors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to start establishing that type of learning continuity, meaning that we're not just jumping from submission to submission to every class. Like I want to build a gradual flow chart.
Right.
Okay, so the whole month of October, we did Comores from guard, Comores from sidemark, Comores from mount, the Comore trap, Comore sweeps, transitions to the Comore, transition from the Comore. So like people could really understand the fundamentals of doing a Comore, and I want to continue that, so people could really develop their skill set and understand not just the move, because you grab the arm and you go for the Comore. Okay, I got that, but how do I get there? And if it doesn't work, then what do I do? So you understand the full fundamentals of that move. So I think
I
that's where
did.
we go
I
to.
did think about doing a Kumar.
Yeah, you did
Yes,
think
you
about
did.
it.
I did.
You thought
There
about
was
it.
there
It
was
crossed
one
your
time.
mind.
There was one time when
Yeah,
I had her in my guard, and I thought, oh, cool. Now I get to try to do a Kumar,
yeah.
and it
That's
didn't
the
happen.
beauty
It
of
didn't
like,
work. But I thought about it.
yeah. That's the beauty of doing a whole month of one particular thing. And I know sometimes it could become a little bit mundane,
Mhm.
but the fact is, it's not just learning the move, but learn how to set it up.
Yeah.
Like we know so many moves in our head. Like you know how to do an armbar. Everybody knows how to do an armbar. But how do you get to that position to even attempt it?
Right.
And that's the difference between a white belt and a black belt. Or better, I like to say a purple belt and a black belt, because a purple belt may know 1,000 moves. He go online, he go to YouTube, he learn all these new cool tricks. And black belt may know only 5 moves, but they know those moves so well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just like what Boosie said. Hopefully, I don't mess it up. It's not the person that do 10,000 kicks; it's the person that do a kick 10,000 times.
Right.
Okay, and that's what I want to make everybody into. You know, to really understand the movements, the setups, the finishing, and all those things.
Yeah, that's definitely what I got to work on. So I feel like this was an amazing experience. I learned so much. Nothing can replicate the whole experience of it. Not only for me, but having my teammates out there competing too, and being there with them and being there in it, and like, what mat are we going to now? Now who's next? Who are we supporting? And coming around them, and then, oh, now I'm going and I'm fighting and everyone's watching me, and it was just like,
I have a question. Do you think doing this tournament or competing in this tournament, do you think it made you any closer to me? For like you understand, like the things
why are you so grouchy all the time?
Yeah, the things I went through. I mean, cause like fighting has been my life for the past 10 years, all different levels, right? You know, from an amateur to pro to jiu-jitsu, you know, MMA, fighting downtown No Mercy, to fighting in UFC. And like, and we met each other at the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
So you never got to see that crazy era of my life. But now you actually not only like that you like see it from the outside, you actually was part of. You actually went through it yourself.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the jiu-jitsu part.
That's just major, man. That's major. That's
a
what
little
I saw.
bit. Definitely, I feel like MMA is.
It's a little crazier. It's a little crazy, but like
I just feel like jiu-jitsu is crazy. So MMA.
Think about this. So you obeyed that. Michaela caught the girl in the armbar.
Mm-hmm.
Donna Cerrone finished the one with the armbar.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot.
I get it. I know,
you know?
There's a lot of similarities, and I get that. But yeah, definitely, I feel like I did get a glimpse into your shoes.
Yeah.
By by doing that.
Okay.
And
I appreciate it.
I feel that's what you
Now
want.
you,
Yes.
yeah, so now you know how tough it is.
Now I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah,
Okay?
you know exactly.
I know exactly how you
great,
feel.
oh, great.
I
So
know what you've been through. I mean, I
so
survived.
anytime I say
So
anything about fighting, like,
I'm
well,
like
I
not
know how
even
it
that
is.
good. I went out there and got silver. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really wasn't that hard.
Okay.
So I get it.
I have another question.
Okay.
Do you think there was any pressure from to impress me? I know I don't want to make this about me, but like, you know, like going from gold to silver, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you want people to win gold and be their best and come away the best. And I feel like
Silver's
your
on the first,
philosophy
nothing
is
but
that
first
if
place
you're
loser.
not first, you're last.
Yeah, yeah.
So, no, I just, I don't know. It's hard to, with so many people competing, I feel like when I'm there just watching my fellow teammates competing, I'm like anxious for them. So for you to be the coach and have to worry about all these people, not just me, but also you got your son there, and then you've got other people that are brand new to it. It's like, I don't know how you do it.
Well, I tell you, when I saw your face after the match you lost, and you came off the mat, and like, because during that match I was screaming my head off, and
I was tired.
Yeah, and like you wasn't moving. I was like, get up, get up, get up.
Get up? Like, yeah, you want me to get up? Oh, okay. Hey, that's a good idea. I should get up. You want me to get up? Okay, thanks. Thanks for telling me to get up, coach.
But then I had to bring myself back and realize she's probably tired. She's giving her best. I know you're not quitting. You know, it's just your body is not there. Right? And I understand that. I've been there before. But anyway, you came off the mat and I saw your face as if you was like disappointed, as if you failed. And I was like, whoa, you've been kicking ass. Come here, give me a hug. I'm so proud of you. And it was a real cool moment for me. You know, so congratulations. For taking second place.
Congratulations for almost getting first place.
Yeah, well, I tell you.
It's not my fault. If Gladys hadn't showed up,
Gladys,
I would have had it. Okay?
Yeah, next time we're going to drug Gladys and make sure Gladys
I need you
don't
to take
make
care
it
of Gladys in the parking lot
yeah,
so I can get this gold.
Yeah, make sure she don't show up to the competition. But but honestly, I think, and we talked about this earlier, Gladys is going to be, people like Gladys. Now, not just particularly Gladys, but people like her or competitors like her is what's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what is your future plans?
UFC, baby.
UFC
235.
Dana White,
Sean Shelby.
Yeah. Where you at?
Where you at? I took
50 G's, baby.
I took some kickboxing classes.
Yeah.
I took some boxing classes before.
Okay.
It's it, right? You just put them all together. I could punch and jiu-jitsu.
No, but seriously. What is your next? Are you done? Are you happy with a silver medal?
I'm thinking about retiring.
Are you retired?
I'm hanging up the gi.
Yeah,
and I'm done after this. No, seriously.
You should start a fan page.
I'm gonna start an athlete page.
Yeah, athlete page
for my fans.
Yeah, for our fans.
I'm gonna post videos of me training.
Yeah.
And sleeping.
Yeah.
Rest is important.
She's looking for sponsors.
And I'm looking for sponsors. Yes. I mainly just want money.
Yeah.
So
free
sponsor me and
t-shirts.
give me money. No, actually, for 2019, I want to compete in both Nogi and Gi.
You want to do Nogi?
I do, actually. Yes, I would like to compete in both. And I want to bring home the gold. I want to bring home 2 medals. I brought 1 medal. I want to bring home 2. And honestly, like that pressure of like getting gold every time, and I know with all the random stuff, it's like, I know it's random, but still, it's just about setting goals. And all gold means is I'm gonna go out there and do my very best.
Yeah,
for me, that's all it means. So I want
you can literally do the next tournament and don't place at all, and you be just as much of a winner as you are now. Because I tell you, like what happens
you win
is
when you show up.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes some tournaments are tougher or easier than the other ones, depending on who showed up. Like the randomness.
Yeah.
You know, the next tournament, those girls could have been like on another level, or they could be easier. It doesn't matter, because we don't care about them. We care about your growth. The only thing I want to see.
That's why I give another shout out to Caleb though, because he
stop sweating Caleb, man.
Yo, what? He keeps all of them. He always
he's a
does
vegan.
Everything.
Caleb is a vegan.
But Caleb is a beast.
He's a beast.
Yes, because it's like no, because you're like, it depends, because even though there's the randomness, he still shows up to all of them and brings home medals all the time. So it's
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. I'm
like honestly, when
Caleb
it
has
comes
a
to
lot of.
randomness,
At the gym on the wall, there's a lot of medals that came from Caleb. You're right.
saying like that is the definition of a beast. Every division always
I
bringing home
mean,
medals.
I mean,
Always
I
bringing home
mean, you
medals.
could be, a
Randomness
world
does not
champion in
matter to him.
RFA, or you could afford it in the Ultimate Fighter. That's the definition of a beast too. But we're
Who
not
did
gonna talk
that?
about that. Who did that?
Yeah.
There's some really awesome guy named Gilbert. But we're not gonna talk about him.
He can't be that awesome. His name's Gilbert.
Ha. You were so funny. Funny looking.
Yeah. Good one.
Okay.
Funny looking.
Anyways.
Again. And you did it live.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
Jeez. That's my thing. So, all right. So we want to do no gi for the next tournament. So we're gonna add some more tools.
I want to do no gi. I want to do gi, and I want to bring home. I want to bring two medals.
2 medals.
I brought home one. I want to bring home 2 next time, and I'm going for gold.
I love that. Guys, you heard it here. You heard it here first. She's gonna be competing in the next tournament.
Not the next tournament. Next one's in like January.
Is it in January?
I'm not doing that one.
Is it in January?
Yeah, because I think Bree said she's doing that one.
January?
Yes! January.
Wow.
I need a little bit of time after the holidays for work purposes. Okay, you guys?
Yeah,
but I'm saying
2019. You do one in February or March. Oh, man, January. Okay.
2019, my goal is to compete in both divisions and to bring home 2 medals. That's what I'm working towards.
All right. Next step, UFC.
And then I'll go to the UFC.
Next step, world champion.
And then I'll go to the world champion.
You go to world champion. And then I'll retire from coaching because I'm going to make all the money off of you. There you go.
That's been your plan this whole time.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm taking
started
80% of your purse. That's my management and training fees.
You
80%.
better not touch my purse.
Yeah, not your physical purse. How you
Stay away from my purse, okay?
Yeah. All right, guys. You have anything else you want to add?
I feel like we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add? This was fun. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for supporting me, and especially all the love that I got through Facebook with my posts and the videos and everything. You guys, thank you.
Wait, last thing. I'm sorry. How was it for your mother to see it and for your son to physically be there and watch you? How cool was that?
It was very cool.
Miss Linda Jones.
I get a lot of support from my son and my mother, and I'm very appreciative for it. However, they both kind of treat me like I'm a superhero. Like they kind of expect me to do really well and to win, and to, as if I'm not out there destroying my body to get this. So my mom
they just have high expectations. They think you're pretty awesome.
They do, which is really sweet. Like my son, he expected me to get gold. Because he just thinks I'm the best and I'm the greatest, strongest. He tells me I'm She-Hulk. So
he gave you a shout out on Instagram.
He did.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. He gave you a shout out on Instagram. So
I'm so glad that he was there to see me though my first competition, and I really appreciate all my mom's support too. And I'll bring you guys home some golds next time. And
I was and for me, seeing my son compete again on the mat.
Yeah.
To see my son stepping out. My son having competed. I think last time he competed is when I fought Boyan in 2015. Okay. So almost the same time, like October, November. So it's been 3 years since he competed. It's been almost 3 years since he trained.
Dang.
And he only trained 2 days. He went out and competed and still took silver. And I told the kid, I was like, listen, man.
He looked good out there, too.
Yeah, if you will actually commit to really training, you can be good at this.
You can be the next Gilbert Jamal Smith.
Yeah, I know my son, he wants to do his own thing. He wants to play football and all that stuff. But it just, I said one day, I just want to bring him into my world and be like, put a gi on, which I know he'll never do. And let's go train, man. To put a black belt on my son, 10 years down the road, it'd be an honor. But you know what? I love the fact that he did it. He had a good time. And if I could leave it here, I just leave it here. I'm not going to stress him out.
My son actually being at the tournament, he got an interest in doing jiu-jitsu. Just from being there watching, especially getting to see the kids. I'm glad we got to go early so we could see all the kids, all the different age ranges, and going out there and fighting. Yeah. And it really did spark an interest in him, so we'll see.
We may have to buy his son a gi.
We may have to.
Yeah, all right.
He's got to find somewhere for him to train.
Yeah, he could come through. All right, guys. So that's another episode of Hardwork, Bad Decisions, the good, bad, the ugly. We talked about Rachel Michelle Jones, her first tournament, and in jiu-jitsu and some of her takeaways. And it was pretty exciting. I had fun.
I had fun too. This is a fun time.
Yeah,
The experience was fun.
yeah.
Thanks again to everybody. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to like and share this video and like and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, and I want to give a quick shout out to 7 Moons.
Therapeutic massage.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say massage therapy, but therapeutic massage.
I take care of the fighters.
So she's a massage therapist. Tell them some of the things you do. I know we talked about it earlier, but we can say it again. As a massage.
I specialize in cupping therapy, and I'm also working kinesiotaping into my practice. And I was actually fortunate enough to work on Luis Pena.
Luis Pena for the
who
UFC
fought
fight.
in the UFC, and got him ready for his fight Saturday. I got to work him a couple times, introduced him to cupping therapy, and he loved it. He's a really cool guy too. I can't wait to see him come back. I know he's gonna come back even stronger.
I'm pretty sure he will.
I know he will.
He'll come back super hungry.
Yeah, he will.
So if you need a massage, hit her up. If you need some MMA training, boxing training, jiu-jitsu training, come to Victor MMA, Hustle Hard Boxing in Colorado Springs, guys. We love you. Thank y'all for the support.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.